Hi, I'm Aaron Winstanley, Apple Distinguished Educator and Design and Technology Lead at Bolton School Junior Boys and author of the Everyone Can Create with Tayasui SketchesSchool Teacher Guide and Student Activity Book. Before I get stuck into my books, let me tell you a little bit about myself and the work I do within my school setting. I have been a primary design and technology teacher for 3 years now, having initially trained within the secondary education sector. I began at Bolton School when I was tasked with setting up design and technology as a primary subject. My aim was to create a curriculum involving a perfect blend of traditional practical projects and more modern digital technology. Bolton School was and still is a one-to-one Apple Distinguished School, and so naturally my first challenge was to become an Apple Distinguished Educator. Since then I have been continuing to develop myself and promote my love for similar technologies as I have become a Sphero hero and an educational 3D printing ambassador with Create Education. These programs have allowed me to access worldwide communities involving other educators and professionals all wanting to learn from each other. Powerful communities with powerful goals. Being part of these communities on a local, regional, national and international level has allowed me to develop my curriculum quickly to include everything that I wanted. A truly hands-on experience for pupils, supported and enhanced by iPad. One of the main ways that I use the iPad within the curriculum is digital sketching, all completed on Tayasui SketchesSchool, a truly accessible blank canvas for primary pupils starting on their own creative journeys. Tayasui SketchesSchool was initially used on a very basic level for creating design ideas quickly in DT lessons, and this was a result of me having used the Apple Everyone Can Create drawing guide, the guide that first introduced me to SketchesSchool. I quickly learned that there were many more features in the app that aren't immediately obvious. The ability to trace, copy and paste between canvases and other apps, and a fantastic ruler, to mention just a few. When introducing these to pupils, their love for digital sketching took off. It wasn't long before I was hosting digital sketching amnesties where pupils would send me hundreds of sketches each week that they completed at home outside of their normal study time. I had stumbled across something that was never intended to be used the way we use it now. Something that has changed digital learning at Bolton School Junior Boys for the better. After many teacher sessions and extra CPD for staff on the functions of the app, Tayasui SketchesSchool is now used across all year groups and subjects in our setting. It is used as a personal whiteboard in maths that you never need to wipe clean. It's used to consolidate learning through sketching for video creation in history and geography, and it is used to explore new concepts in science, all in a visual way. The use in design and technology has advanced as we use the app to produce prototypes and technical drawings, laser cut designs and sublimation prints. It's these projects that take a basic sketching app and allow pupils to break barriers down in a hugely accessible way that I am trying to share with other educators in my books. When starting to write my first book, Everyone Can Create with Tayasui SketchesSchool, my initial plan was to share as many projects that we use across the curriculum in an easy to access step-by-step format, including great student examples and teacher tips. This quickly became a task too great to fit into one book. The app was being used in virtually every lesson around the building to support curriculum content and enhance learning. This aim is now my goal for the full Everyone Can Create with Tayasui SketchesSchool series. Having altered the plan for the first book of my series, I decided to present this book as a how-to guide to using the app and teaching design and technology through the app. My intention was to provide educators with confidence to go and play with the app and discover as much as they could, just like I did back in 2019. For me, these guides explore hidden features building on the basics of the app explored in the Apple Everyone Can Create drawing guide, before implementing these features and skills in design and technology projects. This is the process I went through in 2019. It was interesting, exciting and ultimately creative. This is a process I want to support other educators to follow with projects that they can adapt, change and suit to their environment and their students. Let's now dive into the book and have a look at some of the closer content. Each page within the book contains a range of media all produced in Tayasui SketchesSchool. Some example pieces that I have created to show pupils, but the focus is on pupil work. I felt that this would be the best way to engage people and inspire them to be creative themselves. In addition to this, there is a short section of information and on most pages an interactive iPad. The iPads have been designed to present the content in an entirely self-paced manner. The reader simply flicks from one canvas to the next in Tayasui SketchesSchool on each mini iPad. The way the book is created allows teachers to work through the how-to guides first, as these will be key teaching points during any of the projects they wish to use from the second half of the book. I just want to mention a few key features and take a closer look to start with at the page setup, in particular the variety of guides and colours the canvas can accommodate. When setting up a page in Tayasui SketchesSchool, you can completely customise the page to best achieve what you are looking to do. I want to quickly mention the grid squares, perfect for maths, helping pupils to spread out their work and structure their mathematical calculations neatly, just like they would in a maths exercise book. We use this setting in maths a lot for quick starters or plenaries, or even as a mini whiteboard during their main task. The pupils never rub anything out. Over time, their maths folder within the app builds up with progressive content and examples of working. Pupils can easily use colours to highlight certain parts of their work or separate their working from their corrections. The second feature I would like to bring to your attention, that is again highlighted in the book, is a coloured overlay feature. This is perfect for SEND pupils as it allows them to select the shade that will best support their own educational need and the content they are adding. Now we are all set up and ready to go, I thought I would quickly talk about the ruler feature. The ruler feature is a powerful tool for those wanting to design but are low in confidence. The maths students who want to produce graphs, and most importantly for later, students wanting to produce accurate technical drawings such as isometric projections and two-point perspective sketches. The ruler tool can be particularly tricky for pupils, and so when using the ruler, it's best to have a play first. Be confident you understand the tool before demonstrating, otherwise you will come unstuck. When broken down and explained effectively, it can be very useful and fairly easy to master. The key, placing one finger either side of the angled semicircle in the middle. By pressing down with two fingers, as you can see here, you will be able to rotate the ruler easily and move it around the page. When your ruler is set, simply start drawing. The intelligent ruler will even disappear to ensure you can see exactly where your line is going. A special trick here, when wanting to be accurate, is to move your finger so it isn't blocking the view. As long as you keep your finger pressed down, you can draw from way below the line. Great for when you are trying to join up two ruled lines. The final feature that I want to briefly explain is the trace feature. The technicalities of how to trace are explained in detail in the book, but to quickly paint a picture, for many of my students, it has given them joy and confidence to turn their thinking from "I'm rubbish at drawing" or "I can't do art" to a feeling of pride and a sense of achievement when they trace, adapt, personalise their own creations. After all, every great illustrator or designer takes, adapts, changes, and ultimately produces. When teaching design and technology, it is often required that pupils do not trace, but showing them this feature to start helps them to think outside of the box as they edit existing designs. It allows them to get comfortable using the tools in the app. When sketching is not the main learning point, then tracing is a great way for them to create their own media, tracing multiple stages to a scientific process or figures from history to support and consolidate the learnt content. This allows them to produce work they are happy with without wasting hours and hours of lesson time sketching and building up drawings from scratch. In my opinion, primary design and technology curriculums often get overlooked or mixed in with art curriculums, or even avoided, due to teachers' lack of confidence to explore subject areas such as structures or woodwork, or even logo design. My aim in the second section of my initial book was to provide teachers with projects that can be easily followed using Tayasui SketchesSchool and little extra knowledge. The beauty of some of these projects is that depending on resources, they can be taken further with specialist equipment like laser cutters, sublimation printers and 3D printers. Or they can finish at the end of the drawing stage. Ultimately, I would love to see teachers and schools develop projects similar to these, using these as a basis, and eventually end up loaning machines like 3D printers at very low cost to push their students' thinking even further, something I am happy to advise anybody with. I want to talk in detail about the technical drawing project, a project from my book that comes with its very own tutorial video. This project is one that I run every year over a 6-week block of learning, exploring high-level concepts of depth with pupils aged 7 or 8. The ease of the use of the ruler, pencil and pen tools in Tayasui SketchesSchool supports students, allowing them to access learning that is considered to be beyond their ability. During these projects that are also perfect for remote learning, pupils will build up a knowledge of isometric drawing, 1, 2 and 3-point perspective before producing their own creation in one of these ways. This is then built on throughout the curriculum in older years as they create technical drawings for most of the projects they manufacture, whether it be metalwork, woodwork or 3D printing. The learning content summarised, first and foremost, includes the importance of accuracy and patience. Pupils never achieve a perfect technical drawing first time round, and so they must learn to be accurate with every line and angle they draw, patient with every fail and redo, but with every movement of the ruler and every construction line they draw, they will get better and better. Pupils explore how construction lines are used to help scaffold a drawing. They explore depth in different perspectives and how similar drawings can look completely different when drawn a different way. Pupils discuss what 3D means and what 3D equates to in real life before exploring shade, shadow and light in the final stages of the project. This project is easily taught and does not require much additional knowledge for teachers or any additional equipment. My top tips would be to encourage students to take their time, to zoom in, to amend tiny details, and ultimately to encourage them to only accept their very best. I would also like to show everybody the logo design task. Again, a task requiring no extra equipment. This project is a project that takes students through a full logo design process, looking at colours, letter placement, letter rotation, holding shapes and symbols. The main focus of this task? Copy and paste. Pupils use the copy and paste tool to develop a design portfolio of similar designs, edited slightly, over and over again. The beauty of this project is the ability for pupils to see their design journey at the end. Hundreds of designs using only a few letters. A powerful image for somebody so young and inexperienced in the design world. The natural step for book 2 of the series was to begin to develop similar pages to the design and technology curriculum pages in book 1, pushing me towards fulfilling the goal for the series. Instead, a student activity book was developed. We have had a strange year and we are still in a very strange situation, and for many of my students, their creative projects have helped to keep them happy while at home completing their remote learning programme. Tayasui SketchesSchool has played a huge part in this. I wanted to share some of this with educators, but in a way that wasn't going to add to the workload or stresses that remote learning was already causing. I wanted to give students around the world some quick, exciting and fun tasks that they could complete without much teacher input. I selected a range of tasks that have been completed across the curriculum at Bolton Junior Boys that could be used as fun outlets during lockdown or as consolidation tasks in the future as part of a creative primary curriculum. Everyone Can Create with Tayasui SketchesSchool Students Activity Book allows pupils to start using the app without any prior knowledge. The initial pages of the book take students through setting up a folder and making a start on their first canvas with no additional guidance needed. Students can then simply work their way through the activities page by page, watching the tutorial videos for each of the projects, or their teacher can direct them to a specific project to support the learning they have been doing. It really is that simple. Each task varies in length and complexity, but all your students need to know is explained in each video. Both of my Everyone Can Create with Tayasui SketchesSchool books are free to download on the Apple Bookstore or using the QR codes on screen shortly. I encourage educators to use these projects, to adapt them, to develop them and to share their work with myself and others. Creativity is at its most powerful when it is shared and collaborated amongst communities. Thank you.